why people love the EPT.
So unraised pre, blind v blind, and Barney has just flopped trips because it's always coming. Barney bets 275,000, and Kaufmann with queen high and backdoor straight possibility calls. 10 on the turn gives Barney a full house, and it does give Kaufmann a straight draw.
I think Kaufmann probably more likely to check, however. Blind v blind, queen high does have showdown as well as having the draw, but I think it could go either way. It really doesn't. I think both options are probably going to be equal in EV under many circumstances. I think raising is not ridiculous here either, though. Yeah,
Barney
just the flat.
Calls the million. So 3.3 in the middle, going to the river, which is an 8. No straight for Kaufmann, but he has river to pair. 2.2? 1.2 million. Relatively small bet from Barney. Kaufmann isn't doing anything beyond considering calling, right? This is not a raising spot, turning his hand into a bluff.
I mean, the only reason he'd do that is if he thought that perhaps Boatman wouldn't use this size if he had a jack. Kaufmann's not blocking hearts either.
5 million?
Oh my God, he
God.
does turn his hand into a bluff.
And unexpectedly, Kaufmann does decide that he's going to raise it up here. Like I said, James, maybe perhaps the lead from Boatman for that size just looked weak to Kaufmann's sensibilities.
All in. All in.
They're all in.
Barney shoves on Kaufmann, who
Quick go in.
folds his pair of 8s. A huge pot for Barny Boatman and a huge swing as he takes the chip lead at this three-handed EPT Paris main event final table. Kaufmann has folded the button, so it's blind v blind. Ponakovs in the small. 10-4. 10-7-3. Domination rotation. Ponakovs dominated pre, but now a 4-1 favorite with his pair of 10s.
Definitely think that you can consider leading with top pair here, just because there is a little bit of texture on that board. There's going to be a lot of gutters. There's going to be some straight draws that are going to look to come along, especially against what they deem as a stab a lot of the times. Barney does have a pretty decent hand to continue with over cards to the board, backdoor flush possibilities. It's definitely a spot where if you fold here, I think you're over folding against stabs, and that's a decent turn.
It is indeed, as we see Boatman pick up the diamond draw. Ponakovs does not bet again, checks the action to Boatman. And that's a bet.
Yeah, Barney decides that he wants to semi-bluff here with this combo draw, but him and Ponakovs they both share the same straight draw here.
9 of diamonds on the river. That's the flush for Barny Boatman.
And that's why it's nice to bet your equity sometimes, because when you get there, the pot's just that much bigger, and you can size in a certain way where you want to get more chips into the pot.
Any chance he gets paid off by a pair of 10s?
It's definitely a chance. I feel like Ponakovs doesn't love the fact that the backdoor flush does get there. So I do think that a lot of hands get there. Certainly going to be a little opponent dependent.
So much stress. Why so much stress?
We're playing for £1 million. I know you've already got 100 million. I've only got like 3 or 4.
Ponakovs desperately trying to get a read off of Barney.
I'm afraid you might fold.
I'm not sure if Barney's that easy to read.
I'm thinking of hero folding.
You know, you'll always be my hero either way.
It's another.
Yeah, keep paying those time bank cards. I'm thinking for 2.5 minutes now.
Barney's table talk would certainly befuddle me as well. So I don't know. I wouldn't engage anymore. I don't think you're getting extra info. Now you just got to think about the combos that he calls flop with, bets turn with, and is still willing to bet the river with.
Makes the call. Boatman tables the flush. And that is going to see Barny Boatman extend his chip lead. He's closing in on the 30 million mark now.
There's no accounting for that run outright. It was like the perfect turn card for me.
Barney's button raise, flattered by Aleksej Ponakovs in the big blind. 996 with 2 hearts. A pair for Ponakovs, the flush for Barny Boatman.
Are going to just check raise that board. But you're really hoping that your opponent has a hand that's strong enough to call a turn bet with once you make your flush. But again, this board is one where if Barney's willing to bet flop and bet turn, you definitely have to be a little wary. It's so coordinated. You know, I don't think ace high is going to be barreling twice. Just decides he can't fold this combination either. And maybe a little twinge of regret.
Barny Boatman has moved over the 30 million mark. He's actually got 32 million chips. More than 105 big blinds. The second biggest stack is David Kaufmann, who's got 11.9 million. Fewer than 40 big blinds.
Barney's mashing. Wow.
Ace, 10, 9, top pair versus a set.
Ooh.
That's how excited the cameraman was.
Again, it's still just so hard to conceive that you could be beat here with top pair very often. Yes, Barney will have 10s and 9s as well, but there's not much Ponakovs can do here except go into check calling mode.
Deuce on the turn means Ponakovs is now drawing dead. Checks a second time.
Flush draw, straight draw is possible, and it's so sweet to unblock top pair and some good 10Xs as well.
1.5 million. Yeah, and to echo your point, Maria, having just gained those chips from Barny Boatman, looks like a fair few of them are going back to their original owner. Ponakovs calling. We're going to the river. 6 of clubs. Ponakovs checks a third time. How much value can Barney get here? 6.8 million in the pot.
Well, with all of those missed draws, I really would like to see Barney go bigger. Just because, you know, if he opened with a hand like a suited Broadway, a lot of those miss. I just want to see a sizing where he can polarize to these types of bluffs that he could have.
That's a big bet. That's a big bet. Almost full pot, 6.5 million.
Call.
And he gets called! The Black Knight was right. It was merely a flesh wound. It'll bite your legs off. Ponakovs back down to 20 bigs. Barny Boatman back up over 100 bigs, 32 million.
Ace deuce, same suit for Ponakovs. Completes. Barney knuckles the big blind, which is 8-5. Ace 5-4. Top pair for Ponakovs. Second pair for Boatman. Ponakovs also with a straight draw.
400.
Bet 400,000.
And fairly quickly bets a third of the pot with top pair.
Call.
Is a 7. So that gives Barney a straight draw now.
1,200,000.
Ponakovs bets 1.2. It's another 5 on the river. Trips for Barney.
1 million.
At least one more million. Barney puts in enough to put Ponakovs
0.5 mil.
all in. Ponakovs
Seems like that.
has to let it go.
I'm gonna need one
Yes.
pending for me, please.
You're welcome to that.
Kaufmann's made it 800,000. Boatman with ace jack.
2.2 million.
Oh,
Raises.
this is exactly
Oh my
what
goodness.
Kaufmann did not want.
Why?
From an ICM perspective, of course, it'd be disastrous to shove here with the 10s and get called and be at risk. So you see the flat in position. Just going to see a flop. You know, for chips, that would have been a shove, but not when...
King 9 tray. All hearts. Barney with the ace of hearts.
Oh,
Kaufmann with the 10 of hearts. And the best hand for now, but you can see those equities. They are a coin flip when the board is totally run out.
Call.
7 million in the middle. Queen of diamonds on the turn, so a whiff on the hearts, but another overcard for 10s. And outs for Barney to make a gut shot now, although he's blocked by those pocket 10s.
the good news is he blocks Jack 10. He has a 10 of hearts. Pretty key cards here. But Barney could have sets here. Could, of course, have 3-bet with ace-X suited, right? And just flop the flush.
We've got 11 million chip pot. 4 of hearts on the river. Both players drill the flush.
Well, what size are you going to make it now, Barney?
Bet 3 million.
3 million.
Only 3 flushes beat him.
Is it a mistake to fold for this price?
I think so.
Oh, sure.
Kaufmann does make the call. Is going to see yet another nutted hand from Boatman.
Wow.
And Barny Boatman now has both of these players below 20 big blinds.
And he raises.
Yeah, you can mix in a couple different things here. Going to be too strong heads up to just fold, so certainly can call, but I think it plays nice as a 3-bet too. And Kaufmann going to play it a little cautiously.
Okay, makes the call. We'll have the advantage of position. Jack 9-6. Ooh, top pair versus second pair. My apologies. The first hand of heads-up play went to the flop as well. But this one is going to involve probably more than one betting streak, Griffin.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends, of course, how the board shakes out. There could be some scare cards on the turn that shut the two of them down, but with Boatman with top pair, is going to be playing it pretty confidently. And if we get some bricks, Kaufmann might just call this all the way down.
Kaufmann with second pair top kicker calls. This hand going to the turn. And Kaufmann now has less than pot behind.
Yeah, and what he really doesn't want is a low card like that. Something in that deuce to 5 range where it doesn't really change the complexion of the board too much. You know, maybe a king or a queen of spades.
Wow, Boatman
Yeah.
shoves on Kaufmann. It is all in to call.
I call.
Makes the call, and this could be it. The chips go in, and Barny Boatman is near enough a 9-1 favorite. David Kaufmann needs an ace or a 9 on the river, or this is over.
Yeah, certainly Kaufmann also considering maybe
Ace
hands
9.
like king 10, king queen that would shove the turn here.
This is only the second hand of heads-up play,
My gosh.
and it could be the last hand of the tournament.
And that is a confident smile of a man that I think believes it is his time. Is it Barny Boatman's time?
An ace or a 9 required for Kaufmann to continue. The river is a queen! Boatman the Goatman! The oldest EPT champion ever, the 68-year-old UK poker legend, takes down EPT Paris 2024.
Just an incredible story, and you can see welling up a little bit with pride. People on the rail who love him, and it's just a beautiful thing to see.